see. April 7, 2012. I got plenty of action going on today. That turns into that.
Strange substance found by a southwest Arkansas man be part of a government test? Well, that's the question at the heart of a phenomenon called chemtrails, now getting widespread attention.
Well, they say the government is dumping chemicals on us to control or manipulate the weather.
And they say the unusual-looking jet trails in the sky are actually chemical-laden chemtrails.
The survival of the human race, literally, is at stake. The physical survival, the level of health that people will enjoy, the survival of the planet. If you're concerned about the environment, this is your issue. And yet most people have no idea that it's even going on.
It is called geoengineering, fighting global warming by putting a chemical dust in the atmosphere and reflecting harmful radiation back into space.
You could use barium oxide, for example, which makes big fluffy clouds. You could use tiny little bits of aluminum, which is benign in the environment, and essentially manage the climate.
That is not rain, that is not snow. Believe it or not, military aircraft flying through the region is dropping chaff. Small bits of aluminum, sometimes it's made of plastic or even metallicized paper products, but it's used as an anti-radar issue, and obviously they're up there practicing. Now, they won't confirm that, but I was in the Marine Corps for many years, and I'll tell you right now, that's what it is.
And tonight, one woman says the government's own data shows the chemicals are showing up in our drinking water.
This is a multi-billion-dollar, if not trillion-dollar operation. It's also very damaging not only to the environment, but also to human health. Because being that it is illicit, if the truth got out to people, think about how damaging could be to their agenda, both political and monetary.
I had a friend who recently, he's always looking at things from a different perspective. He's a bit of a conspiracy theorist, you know. Did you ever see that movie with Mel Gibson?
Yeah.
Conspiracy Theory? Okay.
Sure.
He's a lot like that. And he says that whenever the president comes to LA, there's no spraying.
Just clarify, so 10 megatons of aluminum dumped into the atmosphere would have no human health impact?
So you're going to be more careful here. Work to separate out the toxicological. So the alumina we've only begun to research, and college nothing.
There was mason jars, and they were brand new, sterilized, and that's what we catch the rain in.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a HEPA filter that we tested the air with.
Okay, so you caught rain, and then you basically filtered air. What did you find?
Aluminum and barium.
We haven't done anything serious on alumina, and so there could be something terrible that we'll find tomorrow we haven't looked at.
But this is virtually exactly what the geoengineers described and did describe in the conference, as you know, as the result of spraying aerosols, a white haze that would eliminate our blue skies. It's exactly what we see. So it's baffling to many of us how people can not give this issue the serious attention that it deserves when it's virtually everything the scientific community is describing as something they urgently want to do, but they still don't admit they are doing.
So this is being done over our farms and over our things. So basically they want to eliminate our ability to eat organic food, have clean water. So in some ways it sounds to me like, and you know, again, it's just a projection, but it sounds to me like this is control. How do we control the masses?
What shows you can make very high quality, and do this in just a jet in a very simple way, make high quality alumina particles just by spraying aluminum vapor out, which oxidizes. So it's certainly in principle possible to do that. There's a big literature that's already looked at that. Aerosol geoengineering looks like it is so cheap that the cost is basically not going to be an issue. That means that implementation decisions will be risk-to-risk decisions. The risk of doing it against the risk of not doing it. And it makes the problem of how we govern it fundamentally harder and different and novel. So I've told you this cheap to deliver materials to the stratosphere, and I'm convinced that's true. I don't think that will change. But I think the more we do research, the less easy this will look, the more complicated the environmental effects will look. And that's a good thing, because right now it looks too easy. So I think that if we do more research, we're likely to find out that it's harder and more complicated than we thought, and the side effects are harder to manage, and that's a healthy outcome that will make it easier to do the management. It's an empirical question, how people will actually react to knowledge about this. Another reaction is to say, if these crazy scientists are so concerned about putting CO2 in the atmosphere, they want to think about these things, then that might actually mean we should be more serious about the risks of CO2 in the atmosphere. And by the way, it's not really a moral hazard, it's more like free riding on our grandkids. And by the way, it's not really a moral hazard, it's more like free riding on our grandkids.
When I have a friend who builds organic gardens, and across the industry they're seeing a decline in anything natural and organic that's growing. However, the effective crops have the aluminum-resistant seeds that have been manufactured.
So part of the genetically modified crops includes a conscious effort to make those seeds and those crops resistant to aluminum. Is that what you're saying?
That's the only thing that survives.
Well, this is not an accident.
No, it's not.
So those people know what's going on.
Absolutely. Yes, they do.
Not only do they know what's going on, but they intend to benefit from it.
They already are.
And I don't see how anybody who's got their eyes open and their mind open can come to any other conclusion but that somebody is spending a lot of money and effort to spray the planet. I know that whenever it's finally discovered, and it will be, the people who are doing it will undoubtedly say, oh, well, we did it for you folks. It's for the greater good of the greater number. It's for the society. It's probably to prevent global warming. But in my humble opinion, it's not in your good or mine at all.
We're here in Las Vegas, November 4th, for a SEMA convention, and they're spraying as we speak. They're spraying, as you can see. They've permeated the sky.
About chemtrails, and he said that this is going to be one of the worst days for chemtrails, and we all just went outside and looked up in the sky.
It is creepy.
It is really creepy. I mean, there's
I'm
got
looking
to
at
be
3 rows right now.
There's 3 rows there. There's another 3 going across the other way. There's 3 in the back coming over.
Right.
So does that mean like there's going to be more bad weather?
Well, Crazy Pete's on the phone. Peter.
Hey, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
What's going on? Fill us in.
All right. I'm glad you guys put me through for my fellow non-chemtrail believers, because now you're seeing the obvious. Yesterday, total cleanup, fill tanker day. We're watching the map. The fires that are burning in Arizona. They use the jet stream. They bent that around, and that makes that area even hotter. I don't know if that's got to do with anything.
All right, first
but
of all,
now it's our turn again.
Let's get back to the basics. What exactly is a chemtrail?
All right, a chemtrail is what's in the chemtrails?
Yeah, what is it? I mean,
okay,
I'm looking.
Yeah, we see these lines.
Yeah, the lines in the sky. What are they?
All right. The argument is that these are contrails and they're water and stuff that's sprayed out by regular commercial airlines. These are sprayed, and if you watch them, they'll make the line across the sky, and then you'll see these things disperse, and your nice blue day, all right, your nice blue sky day, will turn into a complete sheet of white barium, aluminum, metal spray. That's what this is. It's going to block out your sunny day, and it's going to do what it's doing right now.
What?
And this is all over the U.S. This isn't just my phone call.
No.
But why? My question is this: why is this being done? Number one, and also when I looked up HAARP, okay, it said that it was airplane emissions. Is that? Are you saying that it's some government deal?
Well, let me just say this too. And if you're driving and you see these chemtrails, just so you know we're not nuts, give us a call and tell us what you see. 476-9799. Lovey just went outside and took a picture. I walked outside, and I am always very skeptical about what Crazy Pete says.
I always thought he was like insane, but I'm believing him.
Wait a minute. I'm trying to set you up with the facts.
Wait a minute. I went outside, and I counted no fewer than 15.
Wow. I just can see 3 from where I'm sitting.
In the sky, and I have never seen that many. And then there was a plane going over at about 36,000 feet, and you could see the chemtrail coming right out of the plane. Now, what is people will tell you, I mean, they'll say, wait a minute, that's just jet engine emissions.
Right.
Absolutely
How
not.
can it be that bad, crisscross the way that it is? I've never seen it like that either.
Just look at the patterns, the way they sync these up. They're GPS in a laser-guided line in the sky.